Wanda, what do you know about the multiverse?
Viz had his theories. He believed it was dangerous.
Nowadays, it is hard not to run into a Marvel fan when you are adventuring in everyday life. Slowly but surely, Marvel has built up its fanbase to insane levels. It seems that most moviegoers are obsessed with the MCU and the movies found within it. Marvel's newest release, Thor: Love and Thunder, came out to mediocre critical reviews, but the Marvel fanbase loved it as usual. One thing I and other critics noticed about this new Marvel film was that the film seemed to follow Marvel's closely kept formula. This formula has been a part of Marvel and MCU from the start and has recently grown into Marvel's strongest weapon, and also its biggest weakness.
Is it better to be feared or respected? And I say, is it too much to ask for both?
Before I get into how the Marvel formula is Marvel and the MCU's largest weak point, I must define exactly what the Marvel formula is. In short, the Marvel formula is a cinematic formula used by Marvel when it makes its feature films. The formula contains things like a typical hero's arc, one-liners, and a moment where it looks like the hero has lost it all before they manage to come back and take victory. All this is seen in nearly every Marvel film. It's a formula that the higher-ups at Marvel like to stick to religiously, and a formula they don't deviate from often. This has many consequences for the MCU and filmmaking alike.
Every night, I dream the same dream.
Along with this formula comes many negatives. The first and most important con of this formula is that its use pumps the film industry full of unoriginal content. At the moment, the MCU is arguably the biggest and most important film franchise on the planet. This title holds a lot of weight and comes with a lot of responsibility when it comes to the art of filmmaking. This art must be preserved at all costs, however, using a formula to create movies going against this art and instead creates commercial pieces whose sole purpose is to make and maintain a steady profit. The MCU has a responsibility to uphold, and by using a formula when they make their movies, they do not live up to this responsibility. Another negative which comes with this formula's existence is the lack of creative power given to otherwise talented writers, directors, and other film crew. Making a director or writer adjust their work to fit a certain model goes against everything that the art of filmmaking is about. Filmmaking should be about creativity and creating new and entertaining and important content, not sticking to a closely held formula. This formula has even caused some directors to entirely abandon passion projects, such as when Edgar Wright left Ant-Man. Finally, another negative when it comes to this Marvel formula is that the formula as a whole produces content which is simply, for the most part, boring. Who wants to watch the same movie over and over again? I know that I would prefer not to, but over the years that is what it feels like I'm doing when it comes to these Marvel releases. Year after year, it seems as if Marvel creates the same movie with a different title and different characters. The plot always follows that same pathway and the formula dictates and never deviates from that. There's one exception to this, however, and as a result, the film is arguably my favorite Marvel film. That film is Avengers: Infinity War. Spoilers ahead for Avengers: Infinity War. While Infinity War does, for the most part, follow the same Marvel formula full of action sequences, one-liners, and characters with zero depth over the course of one film, the film itself features a stark difference from the Marvel formula. Namely, the heroes end up losing. Sitting in the theater and watching this, I was overjoyed as many of the Avengers and more turned to dust. Finally, Marvel had taken a chance and gone against their previous formula and ways of doing things. This was an all-welcome sight to see, and as a result, quickly solidified Infinity War as my favorite Marvel film. This type of small deviation from the Marvel formula made Infinity War a much better movie than many of its competitors and was the key to the film's success. This type of success can be easily replicated by Marvel. All they need to do is further deviate from the formula that they hold so dearly. Doing this instantly makes their content much more original and intriguing, as the film will not be something that we have already seen 10 times over. Marvel has the capacity to do this, and further, they can get really creative talents to lead this new revolution of filmmaking. All the higher-ups need to do is take a chance. All they need to do is ditch the formula which they have written for years and instead opt for a more original form of filmmaking. This will lead Marvel to great success, much greater than they are currently experiencing with their new line of films. Original filmmaking is the key to Marvel's revamp and the key to their future success in the film industry and beyond.
The old ex-girlfriend.
What's it been like? 3, 4 years?
8 years, 7 months, and 6 days.
To end this article, I would like to further push the agenda which I have been focused on in this article. Marvel needs to ditch their formula and adopt a filmmaking strategy that's more based on the creativity of individuals instead of simply what has worked in the past. If Marvel continues down the route they're currently on, I guarantee that they will soon fizzle out as people will grow tired of the endless content machine that is Marvel. People will eventually take notice that they are watching the same movie or TV show over and over again, and they will take leave of the MCU. All of this can be easily avoided, however. All Marvel has to do is ditch the formula. It is that simple. If Marvel ditches the formula, then success will forever be theirs, and that I guarantee.